This is my current crop of sunflower shoots. This is at 12 days. If you compare this to the last video about sunflowers, this is a much better growth of sunflowers. The burlaponics approach is working pretty well on this. And if you look closely, you can see that the true leaves are beginning to form on some of these plants, which I would say is an indicator they've gone a little bit longer than they should have. 10 days, 11 days might be good. This also means that you can get more frequent croppings if you can minimize the number of days that you have of growth. Also want to mention that in contrast to other people who grow, these were uncovered after 2, 3, 4 days and allowed to green up and start to grow. So I also think that keeping them covered for an extended period of time is not necessarily a good idea or necessary. One of the advantages of growing on burlap is that you can take the finished product out of the tray for harvesting. There's sunflowers. And because it's mounted on a fabric, there's something else you can do. In the past, I've seen people setting trays up on this kind of on the edge to make harvesting easier. But in this case, what I can do is I had this board and I put a couple of small brads in the board, and I can just take this whole mat and basically hook it onto the brad so that I can tilt the board up. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to tip this up on the outside of a pan here. Start snipping. That's working pretty good, isn't it? I've also heard about people using little hedge trimmers for this. If I was doing this commercially, I'd probably want something faster. And that's that. And here we have my next crop. This is going to be a short soak, about 8 hours or less. The water that they're soaking in has had 30 drops of grapefruit seed extract added to it. And I seem to be getting up to a higher concentration of this that is doing a really good job on preventing mold on the various seeds that I'm growing. So here's another experiment with growing amaranth. Now amaranth seeds are very tiny, and you can easily see that they're going to fall through the holes in the burlap. So in this particular case, I'm going to try something else, which is I have this unbleached muslin. Tried this in the past and gave up on it, but I think it's necessary now with this particular thing. This could also be true. I think alfalfa is very tiny. Alfalfa could be a good plant to grow for shoots. Notice the word shoots, not microgreens. I'm looking at growing some of these things to a longer length. Things like sunflowers and wheatgrass are like 10-day crops. Peas I tend to go 15 to 20 days to get size. There are some other things. I've just ordered chard and kale from True Leaf, and I'm planning to let these grow into shoots, letting the true leaves grow out to have a larger plant, more bulk, more return for the time invested, and also something decorative. I actually have a neighbor who has one of the top 100 restaurants in San Francisco, and he has sampled some of my microgreens. I'm about to give him more. So, trick here is to cut it to size. And sweat it down. Both with the cotton and with the burlap, I've gone over to rinsing them out first. I noticed some odor coming off the burlap, and the cotton may have some sizing in it. So If you rinse it out first, it'll be saturated, but also if there's anything in there that comes out easily that could go into the plants, you'll be rid of that. Going to put some amaranth seeds in a cup. This is plain amaranth, not red. I just get this at Rainbow, my local health food store. I guess you could buy it from True Leaf or something too, but probably costs a lot more money. Just going to sprinkle this on. It's going to gather in the wrinkles. Can't do much about that. Not going to worry about it. It's going to spread out all over it. I mean, the plants will make room for themselves as they grow. So, you know, there's no point being too tense about this. This is not taking a lot of seeds to give me good coverage. So, that should be a very nice crop. Don't know how long it takes. I've grown some of these particular seeds to full size. They turned out to be like a 2-foot plant and went to flower, so I guess there's different size amaranths in the world. Okay. So, good enough. It's going to be covered with another stainless pan to be kept damp, and we'll see what happens.